Hi, everyone. Welcome to Learn Chinese Smart. I'm Yaoyao, and today we're tackling one of the toughest challenges for Mandarin learners, staying motivated. Let's be real. Learning Chinese isn't always glamorous. You start with enthusiasm, but then the reality sets in, the characters, the tones, the grammar. It's easy to feel like you're not making progress, right?
Definitely. I've been there. I'm Alex, and I've been learning Mandarin for a couple of years now. I've spent hours learning vocabulary only to forget half of it the next day. It felt like I was running in circles.
Exactly. And this is where most people quit. But what if I told you there's a way to keep that spark alive and actually enjoy the journey, even when it feels like you're stuck in the weeds?
I'd love to hear how, because right now, motivation is a constant struggle. I'm pretty happy.
All right, let's dive in. First, let's talk about one of the biggest mistakes learners make when it comes to motivation: vague goals. You know, things like, I want to be fluent, or I want to speak perfect Mandarin. These goals sound good, but they're impossible to measure. So when you can't see immediate progress, it's easy to feel discouraged.
I totally get that. It's like running a race without a finish line in sight.
Exactly. So what works? Set specific small goals. For example, instead of saying, I want to be fluent, say, I want to learn 20 new words this week, or I want to have a 5-minute conversation in Chinese by the end of the month. This gives you a clear target to hit, and every time you achieve a goal, you'll feel the boost. So click here to this.
I love that. It's all about bite-sized achievements.
Exactly. Now here's the second tip. Find your why. Why do you want to learn Mandarin in the first place? Is it to travel, for business, to understand Chinese culture? Whatever it is, write it down and keep it visible. When things get tough, just look at it. It'll remind you why you're doing this. And trust me, that why is powerful when you need to push through those hard days.
So true. My why is because I want to be able to watch Chinese movies without subtitles. That keeps me going, even when characters start to look like squiggly lines.
Exactly. Having a strong why gives you a reason to keep going. Now, let's talk about the power of community. Learning Chinese can be isolating, but it doesn't have to be. Join a group or community of learners who are on the same journey. Like, it keeps you accountable and you can share tips and struggles. Plus, it's way more fun.
Oh, I've noticed that too. I started practicing with a language partner on WeChat, and it makes a huge difference. It's like having a workout buddy, but for Chinese.
Exactly. Accountability is key. But here's the thing. Don't just study the textbook. One thing I wish I knew early on is that learning a language doesn't just happen in a classroom or from memorizing flashcards. Watch Chinese TV shows, listen to Chinese podcasts, or follow Chinese influencers. Immerse yourself in the language before you jumped in.
Yeah, I started watching Chinese dramas with subtitles, and it's not just entertaining, it's like real world learning. It's like,
Exactly. And you'll pick up slang, cultural references, and the natural flow of conversation that textbooks just can't teach you. Now, let's talk about celebrating the small wins. We often focus so much on where we want to be that we forget to appreciate how far we've come. Did you learn a new word today? Did you hold a course of cotton to keep you going?
you're right. I tend to skip over the little victories, like being able to understand a phrase I've learned. I need to be more mindful of those moments.
It's easy to overlook, but it's important. And here's a final tip. Stay consistent, even on the bad days. Learning Mandarin is a marathon, not a sprint. Some days you'll feel like you've hit a plateau, and that's okay. Keep going. Just show up every day, even if it's only for 10 minutes. Consistency is the key to long-term progress.
Yes, that's one of the hardest parts for me. But I've found that just doing a little bit every day makes a huge difference over time.
Exactly. So to wrap up, here are the key points to keep your motivation high. No 1, set small specific goals. No 3, write down your why and keep it visible. No 4, immerse yourself in Chinese culture. No 5, celebrate every small victory. No 6, stay consistent, even on the bad days.
I love this. These are actionable steps, not just fluff. I'm ready to get back into studying with a fresh mindset.
That's awesome. And remember, it's okay to have bad days. The key is to stay in the game and keep going. If you enjoyed today's episode, make sure to hit that subscribe button and leave a comment, sharing your own motivation tips. I'd love to hear from you.
Thanks for having me, Yao Yao. This was great.
Thanks for joining, Alex. And to all our listeners, keep learning, stay motivated, and I'll see you next time on Learn Chinese Smart.